And today I want to offer a practice around writer's block because it's something that a lot of people go through. A lot of us are writers who don't write. A lot of us have really great ideas, but we don't take action on the ideas. We don't execute those ideas. And sometimes we think that it's a block. And so today we're going to practice removing blocks because you have such wonderful ideas. We have such wonderful ideas. It's it would be a shame. It would be a loss to not put them out there in the world. And I think that because we live in a world that values a lot of money and a lot of fame, we have come to believe that if our social media, if our writing, if our popularity isn't like, you know, high in numbers, that it isn't worthy. And I think that it's okay for us to admit and accept that not all of us are going to be famous. Not all of us are going to be rich and famous. Do you know how many classical writers and artists of all kinds live their whole life creating, never being acknowledged for their art, but hundreds of years later, we call them masters and geniuses. So maybe that's the kind of genius you are, where like 100 years from now, the thing that you created, people will say, we can't even believe we didn't discover them. We can't even believe we missed an opportunity. If that makes you feel better, you can consider it like that. Okay, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath because this is what will get you tapped into your body. Breathing happens automatic, like our heartbeats, and we don't have to like wake up in the morning and wind ourselves up so that, our heart will beat or our battery will work. We don't have to program, toot, 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 toot. Oh, remember to breathe because the lungs need oxygen. No, these are things that, we've been gifted with. This is the gift of life that your heart will beat and your lungs will breathe, and you'll go many, many days without even acknowledging that you have supernatural functions in your body that you don't even give a second thought to that keep you alive. And so to focus and to turn your attention to your breath is to take a moment to realize that so much is already happening for you and that you're blessed. And that just like breathing, you can do other things too. Like you are just you. You don't have to try to be you. You're just you. And that's a good thing. And so the breath is helping us tap into this body that does so much for us without us even asking or noticing or feeling grateful for. So just for a moment, say, thank you, breath. Thank you, lungs. Thank you, heart, for beating. Thank you, brain, for thinking. Thank you, eyes, for seeing. Not everybody sees with their eyes. That not everybody can walk with their legs. So thank you, legs. Thank you, body. Thank you, kidneys. Thank you, liver. Sometimes the reason why we don't want to take a moment to stop and breathe is because we'll also start to feel. You'll start to feel what's already there within you. And sometimes what's there within us is not the best feeling. It's uncomfortable. You have to contend with these thoughts and ideas that are contrary to what you want. Like, I want to sit down and write my New York Times bestseller, global bestseller. But I have to contend with the little voice that's like, oh, please. Oh, really? What are you going to write about? You don't even know what you're going to write. Who the hell wants to know your story? What kind of story do you have? You didn't have anything bad happen to you. You didn't have anything good happen to you either. So what would you write about? That idea, who's going to come and watch that idea? Who would watch that movie? Who would read that book? You have to contend with those thoughts when you stop to breathe. But it's worth it. It's worth it to deal with those thoughts and ideas that are in your head that are going against the wish in your heart. It's worth it to deal with that because when you deal with it and you say, okay, why do I think that no one wants to read my work? Well, no one wants to read my work because, there's typos and the grammar isn't great and I've never learned how to develop a story and I don't even really know how to develop characters. And there's so many better writers out there and the publishing world is so competitive and everybody on is online now and everybody's doing everything and the whole industry is so saturated. Is that true though? Is that true? Is it true that it's saturated with the thing that you do? And if you don't know what it is you want to do, then you can take this moment right now to write down what it is you think you want to do and who it is you think you are. And then we also have to slow down enough to accept the fact that if we don't know who we are or what we want to say or what we want to write about, then it would make sense that we would be delayed. It would make sense that we would be blocked. I wouldn't be mad at myself for being blocked because, well, it's not block. It's not knowing what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do and you don't sit down to do it, then it doesn't get done. So it would make total sense that I don't have a global bestseller yet because I haven't written it. You see? And so sometimes we talk to ourselves in ways that are really defeating and we beat ourselves up before we even start. And where does that come from? Well, maybe it comes from old stuff. Maybe it comes from having parents that demanded too much or parents who didn't give enough or yada, yada, yada. At some point, you have to accept responsibility for your own life because you're not a little kid anymore. Now you're a grown up, which means that you own your life. You are autonomous. You get to have a say. We live in the United States and it is for the time being still a free country. And God willing will remain a free country where you have opportunity. You have an opportunity to go to school. You have an opportunity to get a job or two jobs. You even have an opportunity to drive around and make deliveries to get paid. So there are ways to make money where you can create an opportunity for yourself. I need a new camera. Okay, I'm going to DoorDash, and all of my DoorDash money is going to go towards my new camera. I want to become a yoga teacher. Okay, well, I'm going to find a job at a yoga studio. I'm going to see if there are scholarships for teacher training. I'm going to take a loan. Like there are endless pathways to get to where you want to go. But why won't you let yourself go? Why won't you try? Why won't you say, okay, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to give it all I've got? Well, because you have a thought in your head. You have a belief that lives rent free inside of your nervous system that stops you every time you try to pull off. And until you deal with that, you're going to call it writer's block. So let's practice. Let's practice. I am a writer who sometimes doesn't write. I have a lot of ideas, and I think that my ideas can be really funny and cool, but sometimes I take too long to write them down and I lose them. I lose the moment. The other thing is that sometimes I do record myself and write things down, but then I don't do anything with what I've written down. I don't like compilate it. I don't pull it together. I don't work on it like as a real project. And because of that, I don't have more stories. I don't have a book yet. And we have to be willing to admit that to ourselves. I don't have a book yet because I haven't written it. And when you say it like that, it feels really logical and it doesn't feel personal. I'm not making myself wrong for not writing a book. I just don't have a book yet because I didn't write it. I wrote a book before, actually. I wrote a collection of stories. And I've been sort of like riding that wave for too long and not admitting that I'm not done yet, that my heart is not done yet, that there is more. There are so many more stories within me. And there are so many angles and pathways and things I want to talk about, but I just haven't sat down to do it. And I get really distracted by things that have nothing to do with my writing. And I joined Substack so that I could have a place to put my writing. And sometimes I'm still unfocused and distracted. Isn't that funny how that works? I'm starting to realize that I am not being blocked. I do not have writer's block, like a condition, like a diagnosis, like an outside circumstance influencing inward. I am actually blocking myself. I have been blocking myself. I have been blocking myself from my greatest creations. My best work is still in me, and I have been blocking it. I have been blocking it because of doubt, because of disbelief, because of low self esteem, because of lethargy, because of distractions, because life is busy. But I am also recognizing that I have the power to change every single thing I just talked about. I have the power and the right to wake up an hour earlier and do everything an hour earlier so that I have an hour to sit and write. Even if I'm just doodling, even if I'm just jotting down ideas, even if I don't know the direction I'm going yet, I sit and I write as a practice because that's who I say I am. I say I'm a writer, and writers write. That's number one. And today is a new day. I have decided that my content is worthy. What I have to say matters. It's important. I don't know to who yet, but that's not going to stop me from creating. I'm going to continue to create. I'm going to continue to build. And as I build, I'm also going to go pro. Like, I'm going to not feel shy or embarrassed about making this my livelihood, about doing things in such a way that make me seem, feel, look professional. There are lots of people who do things all kinds of ways. Like, I'm in a t-shirt and a baseball cap because I just got back from my walk and this is when I felt inspired. But some people do hair and makeup. Some people have a studio. Some people have a mic. Some people have fancy equipment. Some people write on pen and paper. I can decide which way I'm going to do that. And I can decide where I'm going to exercise and activate that professionalism I'm talking about. And I think that step one for me in my professionalism is to spend 1 hour a day writing, making up my stories, the ideas that are in my head to actually build and create them. Some of them are half started, which means I'm not actually starting from scratch. I already have an idea in my head. And the only thing that's stopping me is me. So in this moment, I am going to tap to release the part of me that stops me. I am going to let myself be disciplined about this thing, about this experience, about this desire. I am going to allow myself to set up a time to write, to be disciplined in my writing. I am going to stop talking about myself in negative ways and self-defeating and depleting ways. I'm gonna stop that. And every time I say something that would hurt my own feelings, I'm going to correct it and uplift my own feelings. Because I really want this, and I'm allowed to have what I want, and I'm allowed to go for what I want. And unless I go for what I want and take action on my desires, it won't become. It doesn't materialize out of thin air. It requires my collaboration, participation, and action. And I'm ready to take action. I'm ready to be a woman of my word and take action. I'm ready to be a writer. I'm ready to be the writer that I dream of being. I'm ready to put my stories out there in a way that does not expect or wait for approval. Like, that was the invention of the internet. That's the freedom that the internet has given us, that you can find your own community. You don't need to go the traditional publisher route. Now you can just write and publish, and it's a beautiful thing. And I can take advantage of it if I want to. And I can put myself in the mix if I want to. And I can make my name be known if I want to. It's going to take consistency and time. Number one rule in yoga: so what you do consistently over a long period of time is what will change your life. What makes anything better? What makes your practice stronger? What makes your magic stronger? What makes your writing better? What makes your content, more creative, is that you actually do it and you get better and better as you go. Period. There's no way around it. You can't fall asleep, make a wish, and wake up and be a global bestseller. No, it requires steps. And I'm not going to block myself from taking steps. Even if I take step one a couple times over, I'm going to keep going because I love and respect myself as a writer. I love and accept the ideas in my head that are knocking on my creative door going, let me out, let me out. And I forgive myself for every time I ignored the writing call. I am worthy of these projects coming to life. I'm a good writer. I'm a good writer. And I can be an even better writer if I go for it. Really go for it this time. I'm going to be bold in my invitations to everyone on social media. I'm not going to be shy about what I put out on social media. I mean, this is my life. This is who I am. This is what I do. And it's either going to resonate or it's not. But I'm going to keep going. Because 100 years from now, someone is going to pick up my work and go, and maybe I won't even have to wait 100 years. Maybe in 3 months, someone is going to pick up my work and read it and go, and at the least, I will be a fully alive, fully expressed human being who did exactly what she wanted to do when she wanted to do it. Wow. And that's worth everything, don't you think? You can find me everywhere as sweetsister.love. Please subscribe to my monthly newsletter. I release it every first Friday. My website is sweetsister.love. Please subscribe to Substack. The free Substack is also released every first Friday. It's similar but not the same to what comes out of the website. And please consider becoming a paid subscriber because then you get my weekly posts and you get my new projects that I'm working on. So I'm going to set a timer for 1 hour and I'm going to work on a story. I hope that you do the same. Pour your heart into your work. Okay? Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. You never know. Bye. Enjoy your Wednesday.